Hi, everybody. So today I wanted to talk about understanding and addressing anxiety and depression during COVID. I'm going to go ahead and share this presentation, or present it. All right. So we're just going to go through each of these. I feel like it'd be very informative for everybody, help to open up some conversations with your kids. It's been a very trying time for all of us, so hoping that this might help in some way. So the symptoms of anxiety, there are many different symptoms of anxiety. Each one will be different in kids. They might not experience all of them. They might only experience one or two of them. So it's very important to try and be aware of the symptoms, things that might be seeming a little different in your kids. So some of those might be that they're not able to concentrate in the same way that they were able to. Maybe they're not sleeping as much, or they might be having some bad dreams at night. Maybe they're not as hungry, or maybe they're eating excessively, more so than what they used to. Can be getting angry or irritable quickly, constantly worrying, which can be which can show itself through like stomach aches or headaches even. They might be feeling tense or fidgety, constantly having to move around, seeming anxious. In younger kids, they might be crying a lot more, maybe clingy. And then we talked about the tummy aches and feeling unwell. Many of these things might seem small when they're individual symptoms, but they can all start to point to anxiety. So it's very important to understand what is normal in your child and what seems different, especially now, since we've been going through COVID for the past 9 months. It may seem like some of these symptoms have been progressing or becoming stronger. The symptoms of depression can be similar. Some of them are similar. Some of them will be very different. You might notice that your kids are interested in topics relating to death or dying. They might be exhibiting feelings of guilt or worthlessness. That can be in even the smallest of things, like if they didn't put a shirt away, saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm terrible. I can't believe I did that." Just feeling excessively bad about something, even small things. Just like anxiety, they might be having shorter tempers. Um, they might be having a decreased interest in some of their favorite activities. Maybe they used to love playing outside or skateboarding, something like that, and they just want to stay inside, maybe sitting on the couch watching TV or staying in bed, excessively sleeping, things like that. They might be exhibiting extreme sensitivity to rejection or failure, including certain constructive criticism. They might have a really hard time taking that when that might not used to have been the case. These can all be signs of depression. It's not just crying all the time or being sad. They might have low energy, low self-esteem. They might be afraid of a lot more things or worried about a lot more things. Maybe afraid of going in a car because of getting into a car accident, or afraid of going outside. A lot of these things can point to signs of depression. Specifically related to COVID, a lot of questions that kids have and adults are, will I get COVID? Will any of my family members die because of it? Will I die if I get COVID? A lot of kids are wondering when they're going to see their friends again, family members, go to classes. With COVID, a lot of these things have changed. Some of us have had family members pass away from COVID. I know I have, and it's a scary thing, and kids don't fully understand it. We don't fully understand it. And so a lot of these things are going through our kids' minds, and they might not be talking about it, but I can tell you it definitely is there because it's on the news. It's being talked about by us as parents, by teachers, by friends, by family members. It's everywhere. So our kids are definitely thinking about these things. So there are some great ways that we can help our kids deal with anxiety and depression due to COVID at home. Here is a list of some things that we can do, and we're going to go through each of them individually. The first thing that we can do is exercise. It is so important for our kids to get the exercise they need 15 to 30 minutes a day. This is already something they have to do for PE, so there are definitely some ways that we can make it fun. There are some fun online videos that you can see here. I'm sharing out this PowerPoint with everybody. You can do it, the little 8-minute workout. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of time. You can spread it up throughout the day. After one subject, do a 5-minute workout or stretching. You can get your body moving, and this helps to release the endorphins that help to lighten the mood, help to get that blood flow going, and can really help kids with that anxiety, with that depression. Okay. Another thing that we can do is to change the setting. Where are you doing your schoolwork? Are you doing it in the kitchen table? Are you doing it in a bedroom? What does the lighting look like? Is it bright and airy? Are the windows open? Or do you have it dim and dark? Everything cluttered on your table, cluttered around you. Kids thrive on organization. So having your area organized, bright, post up some of their work that they're proud of. Have your learning materials easy access and organized. You can even do the schoolwork outside. Change it up. Go to a park. Take a hike. You can go and classify different things. Use that as part of your schoolwork. You can do it out on a deck that you might have, or a porch or patio. If you're normally doing it at a kitchen table, do it in a room with your kid, or maybe in the living room. There are many different options. You can take it to the beach, do your homework at the beach. We are blessed to live in a place where we have access to beach, mountains, desert. It's okay to take your schoolwork elsewhere. Being able to change up that atmosphere will really help to decrease the amount of anxiety and depression that the kids are feeling by just getting out and getting a little bit of fresh air. Another thing that we can do is making learning fun. With Compass, we have the option of doing learning in many different ways. It doesn't just have to be worksheets. So if you were doing math, for example, you can go to the store, take your kids to the grocery store, have them practice adding up the price of vegetables. Or if they're in a little bit higher math, have them practice taking a percentage off of an item. If they're doing science, you can go outside, look at the stars, try to find as many constellations as you can. Like we talked about before, if you're on a hike, classify plants, see what different animals you can find. What are their classifications? There are a lot of great real world lessons that we can do with our kids that will take them out of the house, out of the normal day-to-day thing that they're used to doing. And by switching things up this way, it will help them to be excited about what they're learning, start to get a little happier doing their schoolwork, be able to release those endorphins like we talked about. How is your outlook on all of these things? Are you constantly focused on the negative? Are you constantly saying, oh, COVID is so scary, or I can't believe what I heard on the news, or have you heard about this, or I can't believe this happened? Our kids are listening, even when we think that they're not. Um, they're also watching us. What is your body language? Are you constantly dragging and a frown on your face, or sad, looking down all the time? When was the last time that you smiled or shared something exciting that has happened in the world around you or to you? When was the last time that you said something positive to your kids? Our kids are feeding off of our energy and our outlook. So it's important that we try to maintain positivity during this time, even though it's hard, even though it's scary, even though there is so much that we're not sure about. But we have to do it for our kids. We have to make sure that we are trying to constantly put our best foot forward because they are always watching us. Now, that's not to say that we can't discuss the fears, that we can't discuss concerns. These discussions are important, but it's how we have them that matters. If your child needs to discuss fears or concerns, don't fuel them. If they're coming to you saying, Mom, I'm afraid about what's going on with COVID, I'm afraid of getting COVID, or Dad, I don't know what to expect. I'm afraid of going to the store. I don't want to get COVID. Don't fuel it with, yeah, I know, me too. I'm so scared. Maybe we should just stay inside today. No, that's not going to help them at all. What we need to do is encourage them, open up those discussions. Say, why are you afraid? It's okay to have that fear. What can we do to help us get past these fears? How can we research and be informed about the things that are going on around us? That is what creates a healthy discussion. That is what helps us get our kids through this time. And it helps us as well, because if we're researching, if we're being informed, that helps to quell those fears about the things going on around us as well. And lastly, try to end on a positive note after you have that discussion. What did we learn today? How can we move forward with this information? What can I do to help you? That way, our kids are feeling confident and secure and safe in their home and with their parents. Now, there are some things that we can do with our kids in the here and now. One of those things is deep breathing. You place your hand on your chest, place the other over your stomach. You want your stomach to move more than your chest as you breathe. Now take a slow, regular breath in and watch your hands as you breathe. The hand on your stomach should move and your chest should not. Repeat this 10 times, twice a day. This is also known as belly breathing and can help to bring in more oxygen into the lungs and to help relax our kids and you. Another thing that you can do is muscle relaxation. Close your eyes and concentrate on your breathing. Slowly breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Make a fist, squeezing your hand tightly. Hold this for a few seconds, noticing the tension. Slowly open your fingers and feel the difference. Notice the tension leaving. Your hand is much more relaxed. Enjoy this feeling. So you can do this with any of your limbs. You can do it with your hands, with your toes, with your eyes. And it helps us to bring aware to the relaxation that we need to have in our muscles, in our neck, in our shoulders. Becoming aware of the tightness in these areas will help. Another exercise is a visualization exercise. Create in your mind an ideal spot to relax. It can be real or imaginary, somewhere you find restful, calming, safe, and happy. A place you would want to return to whenever you feel the need to relax. Do you have that place in your mind? Imagine it in as much detail as you can. Use your senses to make it as real as possible. What do you smell? What do you see? What do you feel? See yourself comfortably enjoying this place. Now close your eyes and take a slow, regular breath in through your nose. Become aware of your breathing. Focus on your relaxation place in all its detail and breathe out through your mouth. These are some great techniques that we can do with our kids. Doing it together will help you both relax. When we're stressed and anxious, remember, it transfers on to our kids. So use this as something to help you bond with your child, to help both of you relax. Another thing that's important to do is to accept your emotions. Allowing our children to express what they are feeling is just as important. You can use a chart, a wheel, pictures. They can draw how they're feeling if they can't quite say what they're feeling. Sometimes we're feeling a lot of different things and we can't quite put it into words. So having them point at one of these pictures might help. If they're saying, I'm feeling sad or angry, don't just stop there. Ask specific questions. What is one thing making you sad right now? Versus, why are you sad? If somebody asks you, why are you happy? There might be a lot of different things. There might be too many that it's hard to pinpoint just one. But if somebody asks you for one specific thing making you happy right now, it's a lot easier to come up with, isn't it? So asking specific questions and elaborating on those things. Don't be afraid of having these discussions with your kids. Give them time to answer and process. They might not have the answer right away, so make sure to give them space and time to think. This might look like waiting a couple minutes. It might look like giving them time and coming back to it at the end of the day or a few hours later. It's okay to revisit what they may or may not have said. Lastly, make sure to have empathy. Repeat what your child has said to you. You can say something along the lines of, I hear you saying blah, 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 whatever they said. I hear you saying that you're scared of getting COVID because of the news. I hear you saying that you're afraid of being near people. I hear you saying that you're confused about what COVID is. We don't have to have the answers for everything. It's okay not to have an answer. But it is extremely important that they felt understood and heard. Another thing that we can do is connect with others. Yes, I know we are supposed to be social distancing, and I'm not saying not to, but there are ways, even with COVID, that we can still connect. We can use Zoom. We can use telephone calls to friends and family. Some of the things that I like to do are going on walks with certain friends and still maintaining that social distance, right? We can still have social distance. We can still keep our masks on, but we can still enjoy the outdoors together. We can talk to our neighbors. We can check up on people around us, see how they're doing. We can do socially distanced group activities. Get some of your neighbors together. Do maybe a socially distanced picnic or exercise activity. There are plenty of ways that we can still connect and stay safe. Something that Compass sent out as a way to help with anxiety is the 3 R's method. So recognize, become aware of what you are thinking. A lot of times we get this brain fog of worry and fear. But if we can recognize what we are worried about, what we are afraid of, and then we can become to understand those feelings. That can lead to relaxation. You can do the relaxation techniques that we talked about. It takes 3 slow breaths and then refocus. Start moving toward the positive. We can use motivating phrases with our kids like, I see you working hard, let's continue. Or encouraging them to use phrases like, I will be okay, or I can do this, I am able. Things will get better. Ending on that positive note helps us to move from anxiety and depression into a more confident, brighter state. We have the mental health services hotline here. If you feel like the anxiety and depression have gotten to a point where you are worried about the safety of your kids or your safety, call this hotline. They have many people available 24/7 ready to help. Do not wait, because your life and the life of your children is so important. And there are so many people going through anxiety and depression, especially because of COVID. People who may not have had a problem with this before are going through it. So you are not alone. Your kids are not alone. And that's why it's important to recognize that. And if you need help, call this number. If you want somebody at the school, we have our counselors ready. They are the quickest way to contact them is through GChat or calling. You can also set an appointment with them. If you have some concerns with your child or with yourself, make an appointment and they're ready to help. I'm also always available to try to help you. We are all in this together. You are never alone. If you want something that might help to open up that conversation with your kids, this is a great kid-friendly video that kind of helps them to understand what anxiety is and what it looks like. So I would suggest you watch this, and then if you feel comfortable, watch it with your kids. See what kind of discussions you can open up. Lastly, there are some useful websites here that you can use that I feel like would be great for some extra information. I hope that this was helpful for you, and I hope that it was something that you'll be able to use in the future. If you have any questions at all, let me know. I'm happy to help. Have a great day.